Champ, wait for us in September, 12th of September. Big fight.
Turkey Al-Sheikh told the whole world, wait for us, big fight in Saudi Arabia. But now, with events that have transpired, does this even make sense anymore? In this video, I will break down everything and give you guys my uncut, unfiltered, and complete thought process regarding Canelo's return after the Terrence Crawford loss. Questions: how is this going to work? You have to hope and pray that the world conflict that is currently going on is absolutely resolved, because who's going to go out to Riyadh right now? They can't really compete, so you hit them where it hurts. Prices are at an all-time high. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live, Boxingego Unpacked. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Boom. You never know. And now, I really know my purpose in this sport. I am the best in the business, and it's not even close. There's nobody in the game giving you this quality, both visual, audio, and showing the receipts and having these boxing dialogues. In fact, look at my thumbnails, and then you'll see a whole bunch of people copy my format for my thumbnails. Look at my titles. Look at my swag. Look at how we get down. Look at the topics. And you'll see a bunch of clones and carbon copies, Xerox copies of what we're doing here. So you might as well just subscribe to the originator, none greater. And one thing I know for a fact in this game, I bring up and break the ice to so many topics that either are forgotten about or nobody really seems to mention. But I feel like it is imperative that we do mention it. So here we are. Now, this is a clip from Turkey Al-Sheikh, and I want y'all to pay attention.
Champ, wait for us in September, 12th of September. Big fight. And this will be the first card for Canelo promotion. It will be name of Mexico against the world. All the fighters from the team of Canelo against the world. And the champion in the main event in world title, and it will be surprise in Saudi Arabia, inshallah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Champ, wait for us in September.
So for starters, the man, you can't make this up. The man Turkey said, "Hey champ, wait for us," right? Wait for us, we're coming. And Canelo's just sitting there like a doofus because he knows he's getting overpaid for performances like he did with Terrence Crawford, right? So Canelo's just chilling right there, going along with it. Because I really feel at this point, Canelo's about his bread and his family, so he don't care. As long as the cheddar is right, Canelo going, oh, payday, you'll want the payday. I know, he going to be on his I know that. That's what I truly, look, he just letting the man talk. Like, Canelo, I feel like he going out bad, bro. You didn't fight Benavidez. There's several black fighters like Jamal Charlo at 54, at 60 when he was active, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade, David Benavidez, another American fighter, right? And you didn't fight none of this work. And then now Turkey talking about, hey, champ, pay attention. We got a big fight.
Wait for us in September.
Okay, we're going to wait for y'all in September, but we'll get to that in a second.
12th of September.
So September 12th.
Big fight.
Big fight with Canelo's team, and he said it's called Mexico versus the world, right? And he said in
Saudi
Riyadh.
Arabia, inshallah.
He said in Saudi Arabia.
It will be a surprise in Saudi Arabia, inshallah.
Right? It'll be a big surprise. Well, here's another surprise since we're talking about surprises. In case you live under a rock or maybe you're in another country and you don't know what's going on in America, we are on the verge of a potential war. There's conflict in the Middle East. So with that being said, you put out this video talking about Canelo is going to put on some massive September 12th card, right? And I do the work so you guys don't have to. The bottom line is that's 177 days away. From today's date to September 12th, that's 177 days. So when you think about it, there's not that much time between now and that particular date that you said in your video to have things clear up, right? Look, Saudi Arabia has the right to military action against Iran, right? Saudi Arabia, a drone crashes into the refinery literally 1 hour ago as of me recording this video. Air India flight diverted to Saudi Arabia after false fire. Saudi Arabia has intercepted ballistic missiles and drones, right? The refinery again targeted. This is just all current news, right? Saudi Arabia responds to Iranian missile strike amid war escalation, right? Saudi has a right to take blah, 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 right? Let's put in Riyadh. Oh, whoops. Let's see if any top stories. Riyadh meeting, who was present, multiple explosions rock Saudi Arabia capital after Iran launches. Let's click on that. Riyadh attack video, multiple explosions rock Saudi capital after Iran launches massive drone, right? So the point I'm making that notice all of these shield reporters, they have opinions on Gervonta Tank Davis and his legal problems, right? Just peep what I'm saying. Study why I would be mad. Look on your screen and you're seeing what's going on, the conflict in the Middle East, right? You could do your own independent research to prove everything I'm saying is true, right? And yet and still, you have all these reporters that they will talk all day about Gervonta Davis and the Miami Garden Police Department is after him and his fight with Jake Paul got canceled. But they sat up here and listened to Turkey Al-Sheikh along with Canelo say they're doing a Mexico versus the world card September 13th, which again, 177 days away, not too far out. That is not far at all. If you see how quickly things be moving, right? And yet and still, these shills and these company men, they're acting like this stuff doesn't exist. So Boxingego, this is the #1 stop for boxing news in a digital age. And to be honest, I love it. I love it because at the end of the day, this gives me eternal job security. I will never not have job security because I'm doing my job and talking about anything and everything in the sport of boxing. I don't duck or dodge any conversations. Meanwhile, the shills who are being paid, and a lot of them can't get lit on their own, so this is why they shill for companies, they're acting like none of this stuff is even going on. So where are you getting the real news from? Be real. Ask yourself that. The person who covers everything, rain, sleet, hail, snow, sunshine, good, bad, indifferent, that guy. Me, that's who, right? That's talking about all things boxing. Or the people who are very select and very selective, and they only want to talk about things that their boss allows them to say. In this case, Ring, Turkey, Al-Sheikh, and the Saudis. The Saudis have put in some money in boxing, and they're trying to make a play for boxing. No problem. But they came in like with Zuffa and Dana White and stuff, saying this TKO Zuffa, we're trying to revise the Muhammad Ali Act and take over the game and monopolize the game. And they came in with this aggressive attitude. But based on what's going on, you can see the purse strings are tightening, and there's a major crisis and conflict in the Middle East going on right now. And previously, again, here's ESPN. I'm showing you the video. Canelo Alvarez to return for a, quote, big fight on September 12th. So earlier this year, I get it. Maybe you didn't have knowledge that Trump was going to do what he did and strike Iran, but again, you said it's going to be a surprise. Well, here's the surprise. Now there's conflict. Canelo will return to the ring September 12th. Chairman of Saudi Entertainment said. It'll be a big fight. This will be the first card for Canelo Promotions. So Canelo, 35. He got cooked by Terrence Crawford. Absolutely. Crawford dog walked him and made it look relatively easy. So you got cooked by a smaller man. That is a fact. You got cooked. You're no longer a champion. No belts, 35, and an old 35. You're not like a young whippersnapper who's like preserved their body. You're not like B-Hop, where he could beat the Kelly Pavliks even at an advanced age. You're not like a Juan Manuel Marquez or a Floyd Mayweather. You're a very old 35. Started boxing at 15 as a pro. Many training camps, wear and tear in your body. You've been in some wars and so on and so forth, right? So this looks bad for Canelo Alvarez. And you guys said Turkey saving boxing. Oh my gosh, Zuffa Boxing takeover. But for me, I seem to be the only one asking the real questions. How is this going to work? You have to hope and pray that the world conflict that is currently going on is absolutely resolved. Because who's going to go out to Riyadh right now as a fighter, a breadwinner for their team, like a Canelo Alvarez, when they're doing drone attacks? Like, please let me know if there's something that I missed, right? Who's just out there? Like, you think Canelo care about Canelo Promotions that much? So in my opinion, 177 days, it may seem far out for some of y'all, but that's not a realistic timeline for this to resolve because there's no progress really being made. Like, for example, you look at Russia versus Ukraine. That still isn't resolved. It's still going on right now. So if you know anything about like history, and history repeats itself, these issues and major conflicts like this, especially there's more than one country involved, right? It's a lot of moving pieces. Even look at the U.S. in Iraq, right? When the U.S. soldiers went to Iraq, it took a lot of time to eventually pull them back and bring them back, like fully, to the point where they were completely out of Iraq. You see what I'm saying? So how is Canelo going to fight out here? Maybe he does. Prove me wrong. In the midst of this, where they're bombing and sending ballistic missiles to refineries and all these tapes are online, let's see you try to hype up and promote a boxing card out there. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how this plays out, because the other issue is you have Canelo coming off a loss, no longer a champion, and he's supposed to be ushering in the Canelo Alvarez Promotions in Saudi September 12th. So you're on the clock, and there's a lot going on that is above and beyond the scope of just boxing. So we'll see how it all plays out. But to me, it's not looking good at all. And you already forfeited the May date because of David Benavidez and Zurdo Ramirez, two bouted Mexicans about to fight. So Canelo is like really a sham. He like, for his fans, he's talking about, I want the Mexican dates and please give me the Mexican dates and I deserve it. Listen, you had an opportunity to fight Floyd and beat him fair and square. You didn't. You got cooked by him too. So way before the Bud Crawford fight, you were getting cooked by that man, right? And the reality is Canelo is an old 35. Canelo is not in prime. And everything that Boxing Ego previously told you is now starting to rear its ugly head back into the fray. So you can't tell me I don't know my sport. I try to warn you of what's to come. You guys were all on board with this. Oh, Turkey saving boxing. They got all the fights. Oh, and I was like, listen, Saudi Arabia, the kingdom, praises to them. Probably a beautiful place, right? But trying to make it the hotbed of boxing rather than America, I never understood that concept, because at the very least, no matter, even if this war was not going on, the very least, it's for Americans, and Americans, there's a lot of American boxing fans, or even people in Mexico for Canelo, right? What type of flight is that to get to Saudi Arabia? And when you look at gas prices, grocery store prices, and what's going on in the world, who can essentially swing that? Who can swing these types of prices? Rent, everything is going up. To get you a combo meal at a fast food, not like a diner, a fast food restaurant, to get you a fry and a drink, you know what I mean, maybe a nugget or something, it's running you like $22 to $27 for one person. So imagine if you have a wife and 3 kids. How much is that going to cost? So in the midst of that, who on earth is going to be going to Saudi Arabia and paying for a 15, 19-hour flight, depending on where you live, right, to go see Canelo? I don't even know who he's going to fight, right? And it's not logical that he fights David Benavidez, because we still got to get through Benavidez versus Zurdo Ramirez, and then the September fight needs planning. So for me, Canelo's pretty well cooked, because it's not going to be Benavidez. Terrence Crawford looks like he's comfortable retired. He gaining some size. He already said he's retired. He's not coming back even for $100 million, his words. So when I'm looking at this, who could Canelo Alvarez possibly fight that would garner this Mexico versus the world interest? And even if he did have a person, economically speaking, how is this good for boxing? Who's going to go all the way out to Saudi Arabia when gas prices? I literally just paid $5.60 in California for regular, not premium, regular gas, bro. $5.60 a gallon, right? And you think people are going to buy these tickets to go to Saudi Arabia? And then you factor in what I brought in earlier in this video, which is the war, right? You got an actual war where it's not even safe in Dubai. I know Dubai is different than Saudi Arabia, but I'm just saying this section of the world, hotels are being targeted. In Saudi specifically, a refinery is being targeted, right? People are trying to make statements. It's a battle for power and supremacy. Then you have what's going on at the Strait of Hormuz, which is basically right by the Persian Gulf, right? And what's happening there is they've closed the strait, which, like, Israel, you got okay, so you got Israel and you got Iran. They can't really compete, so you hit them where it hurts. So by closing the Strait of Hormuz, what's happening is prices are skyrocketing because that's a major export-import region. So if it's now blocked and now canceled, you're going to run into issues. And certain imports and resources, you're having a hard time getting it to different locations. So that's what's going on. Again, with all of these various issues, first of all, who's even thinking about boxing when you're on the brink of war? You know what I mean? That's why this whole thing is weird. You got Dana White and Zuffa backed by TKO and the Saudis, and they doing this White House card for whatever billions of dollars. Meanwhile, they say we're on the verge of a recession and people are doing bad and living bad. How does that work? How on earth is that supposed to work in America, where you got the Strait of Hormuz blocking off certain like exports and imports or whatever? Prices are at an all-time high. People are getting laid off from their jobs, and unemployment is very high. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast. And if we're supposed to be worried about a UFC card on the front lawn or whatever they're doing with, and then the car wasn't even banging like that on top of everything else, right? So I'm not really understanding the vision, and I feel like if the economy is down and people aren't doing good, then it's hard to make money for everybody, right? Including boxing. So best of luck. We'll see how this unfolds. I'm not a soothsayer, so we'll see if Canelo actually fights in Saudi Arabia like they said. But for me, I have several questions on how that's supposed to work. Again, this whole thing sounds goofy. Canelo coming off a loss, his stock has dropped. You just lost to a much smaller Crawford. So his stock is already down. And then you're going to put him in a war-torn area in the midst of the economy being bad. Just like, it's almost like flashing to do a White House card and spend billions of dollars, and all the big wigs and suits, they making money from other people's pain. And you talking about, oh, we got a UFC card, like that's going to pacify people. But then you go to Vegas and you try to order a pizza, it's $50 for a whole pizza. They're like ridiculous. I literally seen a pizza in Vegas, cheese pizza at that, was like $52 plus tax. Like, who can afford that? So, yeah, you guys bragged about it and said I was wrong. Remember when Boxingego said Canelo should fight Jake Paul in Las Vegas, right? And y'all were like, no. And Canelo did the video. He's like, hey, I fight real fighters. No YouTubers. This fucking guy, right? He was doing all that, trying to act like he was above it to fight Jake Paul. And now the whole game is messed up. Jake Paul was going to fight Tank. That fell apart. Then he ended up getting his jaw broke by Anthony Joshua. We should have just seen the Jake Paul and Canelo fight in Vegas, and it would have been easier to get to for Jake Paul, Canelo, and boxing fans. It would have been in America, that's known to be a mecca, right? They don't have there's certain cultural things like where people are still afraid to travel to certain places. Like there's certain customs in Saudi Arabia, like up until recently, a woman couldn't go to the airport by herself. You know what I mean? So that clearly is not the case in America, in Vegas. So just a comfortability thing as well. You know, no disrespect to Saudi, but they were talking about doing Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney rematch out there, talking about Canelo, Mexico versus the world. Like, that's not even a good name for it when there's actually conflict going on. Mexico versus the world, and then they're doing drone attacks. It don't even sound right. So I am very anxious to see how this plays out. And I literally didn't make this video. This has been on my mind for a little while now because the conflict has been going on. And I literally waited just to see if any of these shills would keep it real and talk about some real stuff. They talked about Gervonta Davis. They talked about Clarissa Shields fighting a man. But when it comes to real in boxing, you know who to turn to. Boxingego. He gonna keep it real. These other dudes work for Zuffa, work for TURKI, work for Ring. They not bringing up none of this. Like this, like everything I've documented and reported on in this video is facts, and it's a real life concern. How do you move? How do you move into this space? You let me know in the comment section. We unpacked.